The US media isn't going to tell you the whole truth. And the government doesn't want you to see what's going on. They're manipulating you. They're using you. And they are lying to you. 27 hacked up bodies found in Reynosa, just across from McAllen, Texas. But folks, there's no war in our neighbor next door. There's no narco state happening right next door to the United States. We haven't lost 100,000 plus, maybe 130,000 now from fentanyl in the US. It all of a sudden hit me that this nothing to see here attitude that has kind of evolved, or cultural, I don't know, it's some kind of like something in the water, right? Some kind of cultural attitude that we have is really destroying our nation, destroying it. Many of you probably didn't even hear that in Reynosa. And even though, I think there was a story in NBC News, there was one here or there, it really wasn't a big story, but they found 27 corpses. We're going to be talking about that in clandestine graves in the border city of Reynosa. I've been to Reynosa many times. It's across from McAllen, Texas. The bodies were hacked into pieces. It's like something out of like the Vikings, right? But far worse. And then I started thinking about it, like how this is happening right next door, and how all we hear all day on the news is we've got to back Ukraine. We've got to give money to Ukraine. We got to stop the Russians. And then I see these videos on Twitter and in social media where they're showing America and, Kyiv side by side. And I'm not saying that the Russians aren't destroying certain parts of Ukraine, or, harming the Ukrainian people, or that the Ukrainians aren't in a war. I'm not saying that at all, but they're showing video from the same exact days, like Kyiv on one side, Philadelphia, Kensington on the other. And people in Kyiv are like walking around and they're, nice clothes. They're drinking cafe. They're outdoors. They're shopping. They're driving their cars. They're going to work. It's a beautiful city. And then right next door in Philadelphia are people walking around like zombies, drooling all over themselves, sitting on the streets, defecating on the streets, like I saw in San Francisco or in LA or in the worst parts of Baltimore or Chicago, where we see an influx of drugs and the type of drugs that are tranks that are used only on animals. And we're watching Americans die and our cities are falling apart. What's going on here? Nothing to see here, right? Nothing to see here. I'm going to go into that. And then I'm going to go into the fact that there are so many stories out there that we aren't even paying attention to. Gold and silver allow you to protect what you've worked so hard for, and it gives you back the control and the privacy that you need. And because reputation is important to me, that's why I have Allegiance Gold as a partner with the Sara Carter Show. Yes, Allegiance Gold. I tell you guys all the time, you need to diversify, diversify, diversify. And you can do that now with Allegiance Gold. And you'll get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you tell them that Sara sent you. You want to protect your IRA. You want to protect your 401k. Well, you can do that with physical gold and silver. And guess what? Allegiance Gold will deliver it securely right to your front door. Get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you tell them that Sara sent you. So don't wait. Call or click today, 877-702-7272. That's 877-702-SARA, S-A-R-A. Or go to protectwithsara.com. We can't control the Biden administration, folks. We know that already, but we can prepare. 877-702-7272. That's 877-702-SARA, S-A-R-A. Or go to protectwithsara.com. I want to start with the 27 bodies that were discovered in Reynosa, Mexico, in these clandestine graves. The reason I want to start there is because this has been happening in Mexico now for decades. These bodies, these mass graves where they found, bodies not just of men, but of women, in some cases children, have existed there for decades. Mexico is in a narco war. It is a pseudo-narco state. There are many, many good people in Mexico. They want to see an end to this. They don't want this in their nation. Even people within the federal government. But the problem is cartels like Sinaloa, Los Zetas, Nuevo Generacion, Beltran Leyva, the Juarez cartel. I can go on and on with their names. They have amassed so much power and money that it is almost impossible, the way we are doing it now, to take these cartels out. They operate with impunity. There is really no one to hold them accountable. And every once in a while, they will throw us a bone, like a leader they're no longer protecting, somebody that is going to be replaced. We saw that. We saw that with El Chapo, with Sinaloa. Now, El Chapo still carries a lot of power, but they were pretty much done with him. They're still operating. Nothing stops Sinaloa. Everybody's like, oh, we got El Chapo. Well, guess what? Sinaloa is still operating alive and well in Mexico. And now they found these bodies. So it's like a wake-up call. But many of you don't even know that. Many of you don't even know that these bodies have even been found. This is right across from McAllen, Texas, folks. One of the biggest areas, one of the biggest influxes of people coming into the United States illegally are coming in through this area. When I'm out there covering the stories on the border and other border reporters are out there covering those stories, this is what's going on in Reynosa. When I tell you about the children that are coming across, those that are being trafficked, they're coming from a city that is being run by the cartels. One that has already purchased the majority of the police officers. Many have already threatened the lawmakers that are there and those that are wealthy, because Reynosa is also a big manufacturing community. This is the problem that we're dealing with. We have a war right next door for decades, one that is literally transforming our nation. A place where fentanyl is being shipped in from China by the hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's making its way into the United States and killing our children. These 27 bodies are a warning. These are only the ones that they found. Every single day, people go missing in Mexico. Every single day. And children, last year, what we know of, over 1,900 children. And that's according to my friend Rosy Orozco. Disappeared. And this is parents that reported them missing. Where are they going? Where are they ending up? Why are we not talking about that? Why are we focused, hyper-focused on Ukraine and the Russians, when right next door and right inside our own country, our children are dying and being killed? Not only by adversaries like China, but by these cartels, which need to be stopped. Let me tell you how they found some of these bodies. There were 16 burial pits, which contained 2 to 3 bodies each, and that the clandestine burial sites may have been used by the gangs as recently as a month or 2 ago. Some were only covered 1.5 feet of earth on top of the bodies. They believe that drugs and kidnappings were part of the reason these bodies were disposed of. People they just wanted to get rid of. Maybe they didn't get the money they needed from the kidnappings, but they hacked up the bodies. The spot was only 4 miles from the United States border. I talked to a Border Patrol officer on background, and they were just saying it's going to get far worse. Right now, reports coming out from Mexico, and this is from intelligence officers on the ground along the border, say the cartels are already steaming up for battle. It's going to be like it was, but on steroids. These cartel battles are going to be raging across the border. And God only knows who's coming into our country, because we're not really paying any attention to it. The Biden administration has left the border wide open, which is the reason why Tom Homan and I, Derek Maltz, Victor Avila, and others are starting Border 911, which is the reason why I am going to Washington, D.C. in a couple hours And we're going to have an event where we're going to be meeting lawmakers and officials from Mexico to try to find some solutions to this horrendous problem. But what did I say at the top of the show? Nothing to see here, folks. The nothing to see here problem, right? This is what's going on. The US media isn't going to tell you the whole truth. And the government doesn't want you to see what's going on. They're manipulating you. They're using you. And they are lying to you. We have a war raging in the Western Hemisphere. And it's right on our streets. You could see it when you walk down the streets of Philadelphia. You could see it when you go through, the south end of Chicago and our children are killing each other. You can see it when you watch people openly selling drugs on the streets of San Francisco without a care in the world, with a cop sitting right across the street looking at them while they're doing it. And not only are they selling heroin right in front of a cop that can't do anything about it because the DA won't prosecute, but a mom and her daughter will be walking right by that drug sale. And I'm talking a little 5-year-old because I saw it with my own eyes. Nobody's going to tell me any different. At Los Angeles, a woman walking around naked in the Target I'm buying my stuff at 3 years ago, or maybe it was 4 years ago, was when I went up there to do the Steve Hilton show. Walking around naked with security personnel, which were like two 18-year-old guys with, no weapons or nothing, with a little Nextel on their hip, with a can of Lysol, spraying it around her back because the smell was so horrendous and she was homeless and she was mentally deranged and she had no help and it was inhuman to watch what I saw. But guess what? Not only did I see it, every kid at that Target saw it. A naked woman who had to be guided by security. They didn't call the cops. Cops couldn't do anything, but had to spray Lysol around her to cut the smell inside a Target near Beverly Hills. I saw it with my own eyes. Nobody needs to tell me anything. I've seen this with my own eyes. People defecating in the streets. Is this America? And what about our infrastructure? I was meeting with Senator Ted Cruz, brilliant senator, brilliant man. He's working right now with a bipartisan effort to put up more ports of entry because it's the World Trade Bridge is just way too backed up. We need more security, but we also need commerce. And we need to build a stronger Western Hemisphere. That I believe wholeheartedly. First, I believe we need to secure the border before we do anything. But why would the Biden administration be against this? The Biden administration has left the border wide open. Why would it want to stop this? This is what Cruz said. He said, the message that the Biden administration needs to hear, the message that everyone needs to hear is build these damn bridges, expand these bridges, because building and expanding these bridges is more jobs in South Texas. It is higher wages in South Texas. It is more opportunity in South Texas. I'll go even further. We will not help our nation if we don't ensure the security of our hemisphere. We have worked overtime, sending billions, hundreds of billions overseas. Look at what happened with Afghanistan. 20 years of hell, right? 20 years of hell only to hand it back over to Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. 20 years of hell. My husband lost his eyesight. We lost our best friends. And thank God for them, because guess what? They kept the terrorists over there instead of on our land, on our homeland. But 20 years of hell. And now the Biden administration is saying, gosh, we're going to send all these different weapons. We're practically on the verge of World War III when it comes to Ukraine. We have a war right here. We have a proxy war in our nation. China and every other adversary is utilizing a wide open border. And the Biden administration's like, they're letting it happen. There's no other explanation than they are letting it happen. And the media wants you to not pay attention. Nothing to see here, right? Nothing to see here. Folks, 20th anniversary sale. Yes, Mike Lindell. He is awake. He is fighting for America, and he has an American company that does amazing with the products that they sell. They are doing amazing. Congratulations again, Mike, on your 20th anniversary sale. I am so looking forward to ordering some more of your queen size My Pillows, which were $69.98. And guess what, folks? Now $19.98 for Sara Carter listeners. That's just $10 more, by the way, if you order a king size. So you had a queen size pillow for $19.98, $10 more for a king size pillow. All you have to do is go to mypillow.com/Carter, promo code Carter, or call 1-800-685-7221. Go to mypillow.com/Carter and use promo code Carter to get the queen size My Pillow for only $19.98 during Mike's My Pillow 20th anniversary sale, or call 1-800-685-7221. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all My Pillow products, including the My Pillow slippers, pet beds, by the way, which Pika, Lola, and Macy are sleeping on underneath my feet right now. You'll get those beautiful My Pillow slippers too, which I have on my feet. I love them. Blankets and more. Get the best night's sleep. mypillow.com/Carter and use promo code Carter, or call 1-800-685-7221. mypillow.com/Carter, promo code Carter. Folks, we have a lot of work to do. And you know what's awesome is that each and every one of us are that important. We are just that important. I know sometimes many of you think like, my voice doesn't count. I'm not going to vote. Why does it matter? Don't be so negative. Yes, it counts. Yes, you matter, but you have to speak up. But you have to speak up, and you have to do it the right way. And it's as simple as getting involved. Getting involved. Find a community group to belong to. Go to your school board meetings, even if you don't have kids. Talk to people in your local government. Go help out and volunteer at the fire department. Meet with the police officers. Let's get out of our phones and out of our computers for just a little bit. I love technology, but let's just get out of that for a little bit and meet the people in our own communities and start making a difference there, right? We could start there and expand out. We have got to take ownership of what has gone sideways in our nation. So it's up to me and you to do the right thing. That's what I'm trying to do here on the Sara Carter Show. Please send me your ideas. Please send me your thoughts. Let's figure out what we can do together. If you love today's show and want even more of the Sara Carter Show, please make sure you rate this podcast 5 stars on your favorite podcast app, right? Whether that's Apple or Spotify, and subscribe. It really does make a difference. Follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on Twitter at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at SCarterDC. God bless you. God bless our great nation. God bless our great movement in the future to save this beautiful nation. And God bless the great state of Texas.